He just took a beating. Alright. Cleric's Favor on self. Cleanse on him. Where's the Dargon? Nice. Giant dead. You know, if athletics is no longer as good as it used to be, I think the perk that I would take in place of it is there's one, and I forget the name of it, but it lets your units move through each other's tiles. Like, you see how this guy can't move over here? It's because there's like a wall of dudes here. But if you have the perk, they can kind of just like pass through each other. It's called like slip through or something. And that, light-footed, maybe it's light-footed, that sounds really good right now. Just for some buffs. Can't reach any enemies. Muck, there was a YouTube short announcement for the Enshrouded update. Can I link it? Yes, yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, I very much enjoy Enshrouded. I just did a playthrough of it, clearing the available content. Hated the dragon fight. I think they did that very poorly, but other than that, love the game. Another Ghost Storm. That was pretty cool. So summoning an avatar of my leader basically gave me my leader and 3 powerful heroes. And that was like peak my kind of gameplay. Just like sieging and chipping them down safely. Staff of Serenity, Sharpened Summon Slayer. Alright. Just burn it. More is required. Alright, so interesting. I guess technically we've beaten this map. Like, I could kill this last city and then declare war on this guy and fight him for another 2 hours. But I've basically finished it, because we got the win when I did the, what was it? Camps and End. It's like when I did this, so hold on, I just made a new save here. Because what we did earlier, for those who weren't here, is I got the option to like destroy the world. And I saved the game, I destroyed the world, and then I, afterward, reloaded the game, and then I saved the world. And apparently destroying the world was a achievement on Steam, but saving the world was not. So I was really surprised by that. Let me see. Okay. Well, hold on, let me see what this is. Wait.
That comes with some big implications. There will be something.
Try again.
The upcoming update 8 This change comes with some big implications. There will be something to love for everybody in both parts.
Awesome.
We are introducing a new type of attack.
So let's move on to gear changes then.
We have added iframes to the dodge roll.
Wow, spoiler alert.
Iframes to dodge roll. That is going to make the... That's good. The most annoying fights in the game, that will help tremendously. Also, combat being different is pretty cool. Okay. This is what I was looking for. Adding him to the Pantheon. This freaking rabbit man. You can, so if you add him to the Pantheon, you can run into this character on your future games. Sometimes as an ally, sometimes as an enemy, and he also gets a buff. Select an Ascension trait. Oh, wait, hold on. Bloodright. Deep Collar. Attacks can do Constricted. Impale. If a unit dies this way, turn them into a tentacle. Desecrator. Ghostfire Cascade. Target enemy unit sustains damage. This effect then cascades to adjacent units and is repeated. Summon a Cursed Ogre. Do you have all the DLC? I think I do. Extended Command Unit. At the start of combat, summon a Lieutenant. Okay. That would be really powerful in like early game. Just the extra unit. Mistborn. Support abilities to Clinging Mist. Prophet. Can summon Sandstorm. Whenever an enemy unit is slain, this unit gains strengthened and heals 15 hit points. Warlord commands. At the start of each turn, randomly gain command attack, defend, or retreat. Thinking the free lieutenant. Bing, 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 bing. 7 more ascension points. Hero defeated 29, so you get 10 points for each of those. 250 for victorious. 150 for defeating an empire. Making a vassal is 100. Pretty freaking cool. Okay, so rewards. So the Pantheon, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is stuff you get that affects your future games. There's a few things in here that are bigger than others. So, right here, for example, Perfectionist Artisans. This is like a whole new way to play the game. But then you've got other things that are like, you know, cosmetic, like new hats, things like that. So what I'm wondering is there anything added that affects gameplay, like that's a banner, like whatever, in the newest thing? My buddy only ever played with one Lord and ascended him again and again and again, getting him every possible minor transformation possible. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that. There's some maps. Look at page 2. Oh, hang on. Innate Spelljammer infusion. Astrological Diviners. Study the stars, channeling your blessings when acting under their guidance. Every 10th turn, your units gain 100% crit chance for 1 turn. Any units drafted, erased, or summoned on 10th turn gain Born Under the Stars, gaining 20% crit chance. I think this was already here. I think I just looked at that and I was like, that sounds annoying. Alright. New appearance. Mana Starved Dragon. Alright, this is all dragon stuff. Alright, page 2. Banner. Garlic. I've already got some of these. Like Apex Predators. Oh, shoot. No, I didn't mean... I misclicked! Crap. Pierce shot, active ability, item infusion. That's fine. I still got 18 more points. Will of the Banshee, active item infusion. Pull shot. Wind banner. Molecule. Fractured evoker. Okay, the fractured people are new, so those are new. Man catcher staff. Okay, that's just a graphic. It doesn't have a whole thing. Oh, I just realized these aren't connected, so it has like a loopy. Subdue item infusion, or Ouroboros banner. Spirit Hawk active ability item infusion. Oh, that's cool. So you summon, this is like a staff that would summon like a ghost bird for 3 turns. Fractured Eagle now. Nullify active ability infusion, Fractured Evoker cape, Fractured Evoker outfit, Fractured Evoker head. Unlock Transformation Aesthetics to choose for your faction. They believe magic should not interfere with their natural development, so they shun its use on themselves and look for more material ways to improve themselves. Units of your race start with Transformation Aesthetics applied, which cannot be disabled. Minor race transformation. Units of this race cannot have non-cultural unit enchantments. Which is a massive that's a massive debuff, because by the end of the game you could have like 20 enchantments on your people. Units of this race cannot have any race transformations. Non-hero units of this race will gain 5 max hit points and +1 damage, doubled for non-repeating attacks with their attacks per rank. So every time they rank up, they get more health and more damage. Units of this race gain 5 max HP and deal 1 damage doubled for non-repeating attacks with their attacks per signature skill they have. That would, I mean, that is definitely a different way to play the game. It's not quite the same as the fractured thing, though. Because, like, the fractured people, every time you hit them with a magic attack, they got a stack of regen and strengthened. Or, like, also. So that was another thing. Alright, hang on. I want to just look at the
Choose
creator.
your destination.
And the map doesn't matter. I just want to see this for a second. And I want to see what it looks like.
Your journey starts here. What is your people's form?
Oh, that reminds me. We were gonna look at what was it? So in the past, I always got these two. I put huge value on these two, but athletics is different now. So if we get rid of that, friendly units do not block your movement. So I would consider that, and then I have 1 more point left over. Do like Mount Masters or something. I'd read it more
What is
closely.
their origin culture?
So right now, I think Architect and Industrious are my favorites, and I do very much like Primal. And Feudal's quite strong. I honestly don't, I know I played Oathsworn, I don't even remember what they were like. It wasn't that memorable. Same with High. Nomad, love the city mechanic. The units, they're bleh. Dark is kind of cool also. Okay, so just like if I just hover this.
What defines their society?
Alright, so where's the new thing? I've already forgotten what it was called. Transformation aesthetics. It's order? Really? It's order. Interesting. I was kind of expecting it to be like it would make them look like they were fractured. So this is interesting. So if you take this, then that definitely changes how you would go about playing the game. Because, for example, if usually you go for tomes that buff your troops, like, you go for alchemy to give your support units the cleanse ability. You go for rock to give your guys more armor. Dragon transformation to make them regen faster, stuff like that. If you take this, that completely changes the tomes you want to go for. You would go for tomes that, like, maybe enchant your cities, like, with more production. Or go for tomes that summon units that, are non-racial units. Or just spells. Just go for tomes just purely for the sake of spells. That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure what you would pair this with off the top of my head, but it definitely makes you think. Definitely makes you think. Okay. Yeah, and I was thinking it was going to be fractured because there was
What
also
is their origin culture?
Hang on a second. Let me continue here. There was a spell that we got during this gameplay, and I thought it was going to be the same as that spell, and it almost is, but it's a little bit different. So if I go into spells here, where is it? Wait. Why is it gone? Oh, is it gone because I did the map objective? Okay, hold on. I might have to load an earlier save. Let's go to this one. This. Fractured Transformation. For some reason I was thinking it was this. Attacks have a 60% chance of inflicting Disrupted. This effect is increased for single-shot attacks. You gain Mana Starved. Gain Strengthen and Regen for 3 turns if you disrupt or mana drain an enemy, or when you're hit by magic attacks. And unit cannot have unit enchantments or transformations. And you have Control Loss Immunity. For each disabled enchantment, you gain 5 hit points and 5% damage bonus. So for some reason I was thinking it was this, which it's not. It's different. I'm wondering, can you get this in a normal game, or is this specific to this map? Like this scenario? I am Googling. Let's see. Hemmick, how's your voice? Not perfect. Still on the mend. Still working on that. Let's see. Can a player get Fracture Transformation? Do the Cataclysm quest. You can get a one-time use doing a Gold Wonder Tree, the new fractured version from rewards. What? How to obtain Fracture Transformation. In the Echoes of Fracturing Realm, you need to find Worm Lake and complete that fated region. That way you get the Anti-Essence Elixir artifact that unlocks the said transform. Okay, so... That's a major race transformation, though. So I think... I already answered you, but continue Googling. Fractured is its own transformation. That is not an answer? Like, I have the spell. I'm wondering if you can get it in other games. Or if you can only get it on this map. He meant this. You can get it through a specific ancient wonder. That's also not a clear answer. Is that specific ancient wonder only on this map? Or, which I have gotten it? Or do you mean it can show up on other maps? There's a special world tree like Ancient Wonder where you can get it as a reward for clearing. It can show up anytime. Okay, thank you. So it's not something you could like depend on. Like, oh, I'm gonna play Fractured today. You can't like depend on it. It happens. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, that was pretty fun. All right. Well, that is our playthrough of the Nomads. So let's do a quick recap here, just for like a little review at the end of the YouTube playlist. So Nomads, the new faction. We played the bunny rabbits. Honestly, I played them because they're new. I don't aesthetically, I don't really like bunny people, but yeah, we played them because they're new. The Nomads have the new city stuff, which includes a couple of features. One is that they can pick up the city and move it, which is pretty cool. They can over-harvest nodes, so they, like 2 more turns on this one, they can basically rip nodes out of the ground and take them with them, and then if the enemy goes and tries to expand to that area later, the nodes are all gone. So that's an interesting thing. There's 2 types of nomads. One is the conquerors or something like that, and the other, they can over-harvest the ancient wonders. So the ones I'm playing are the ones that were more about conquering. Now, any city, if you build, with any faction, if you build it next to an enemy city, you can then, if you pillage their stuff, you can then take it. These guys, though, get huge benefits when you take their stuff. And we saw that recently when I built this city, and then 2 turns later, it was level 27. Because I did so much pillaging that it just like, it just got so much growth from it. It was absolutely insane. So like these guys can power level cities. So that is pretty cool. I do love the city thing. As far as the units, not a fan. And to go over that, on tier 1, they got a scout, okay? They've got a raider, which is a melee, and they've got wind warrior, which is a melee. So in tier 1, they do not have a true archer or a caster. And they've just got 2 melee, and scouts are super weak in combat. Tier 2, this is from the Tentacle Tome. Dustweaver is their healer. It's interesting. Weave Momentum is very limited use, I feel like. You put it on someone before they do a charge attack. Fey Blessing is from a tome. And then Wind Pull is their heal, which is... cures all negative status effects, which is useless often, but really helpful sometimes if they've got like 20 status effects. And then it pulls a friendly back, and it gives them a small heal. The thing with this is there's sometimes the pull is great, and the other times it's annoying. Like, you just want to heal the guy, you don't want to pull him. And so it's kind of annoying sometimes. And then at tier 2, you also get a lieutenant, which is a 3rd melee unit, but he has a special ability. And then you get the strider, which is finally like a proper archer. And he's all right. He's got a short-range teleport, so he can teleport and then do his triple shot instead of having to move and then only being able to fire like 1 arrow. He can do the teleport and then fire all the arrows. Give me just a second. Okay, I had to take medication. All right. And then tier 3, we have Champion, which is another freaking melee unit. They have so many of these. But this one's not bad. He has Storm Strike, which he acts like a shock troop unit. He charges in and does 1 big hit, and it will break defense mode of enemies and stop them from retaliating. Or Wind Strike, which is if he doesn't have to move, this can hit 3 times and then puts him into wind stance. So he has like a stance thing. So Champion's kind of cool, honestly. Champion's kind of cool. But the thing I want to compare this to is, let's compare this to the Architects. The Architects, they're tier 1 units. They've got a tanky shield unit, kind of like the Wind Warrior. And they've got the Cultivator. The Cultivator's their healer, and it's tier 1, so you can get it right away. And it will put a beam on a target, and every turn, the Cultivator and the target both get healed and cleansed of a condition.
Compare the scouts for this civ with the scouts of any other civ.
It's kind of difficult to do that, because I can't just like... Hold on a sec. Can I find a scout of another civ to look at? There is a wiki online, but it's not great. I I don't know how to do that easily. Nomad culture units. Wow, what a great website. Okay. Let's see. Hang on. Where is... Okay. Here's one of my scouts. So they've got sprint, they've got fire 3 arrows, opening shot. First attack in a turn does 50% more damage. Okay, I didn't know about the opening shot. So, all right, so they're a little bit stronger than other scouts. Yeah, kind of. Here, hang on a sec. So let me do load. This is another game I was playing. This is one. This is another playthrough I was doing with Architects, which again, currently Architects is one of my favorite ones. So let's look at these guys. So the Architects, they're tier 1. They have the Cultivator, which the Cultivator, again, they put a beam on an ally, and every turn, the Cultivator and the ally heal and cure a negative condition. And also, it buffs the target as well. The target does more damage. Like this is so much better than the wind ones, in my opinion. Earthbreaker is similar to the other shock troop. And then the tier 2, they've got Guardian, which is another tanky unit. And then tier 3, instead of just getting another melee troop, they get the Architect, which can summon basically turrets and has another fat heal. So I don't know. I just think the whole thing about the Conqueror Nomads is movement. They move close to get extra bonus the more they moved. Damage like this, that's why they get so many melee units, especially charge units. Right. I'm just saying it's not for me. Just after trying it out, I am not really a fan of their units. It just feels like they have a whole lot of repeating of the same thing. Like they have archers, and then they have more archers, and then they have melee, and then they have more melee, and then they have more melee, and it's just all of them. They're so similar. And then just I think the healer is worse than other factions' options. But that's just in my eyes. So what else we got? The new tomes. Let's see, hang on here. So they added a few new tomes to this one. We've got Tome of the Warlord, which, dude, this one never popped up, freaking thing. Tome of the Warlord. The Warlord is pretty cool. It is another tier 4 unit that is a racial unit. So it gets all the buffs from your race enchants. So it's nice. It's nice. The commands are kind of neat. It's unfortunate that they don't work on higher tier units, but I get it. And then, they have a charge attack. And they're pretty beefy, so they don't like die super easily, which is cool. Gladiatorial Pit is a nice city building. Relentless Might is an okay enchant. The Summon War Golem, I didn't really get to use them, but I fought against them. They're decent. Their shield units can heal somewhat as well. Their shield units heal for 10. Compare that to the industry shield units, which taunt the enemy and take away their turn. I would take the industry shield units over them. I still think that they're too weak currently. Okay, so that's Tome of the Warlord, and then there's also Tome of the War Band, which was new. So mentorship, while army leader constantly gives XP to the lowest level guy in the army. Lieutenants were okay. Commander's Call is is an AoE heal. This is kind of nice. This gives you access to an AoE heal at like turn 1 or 2. Like very, very quickly you can get access to this if you want it. Bred for War, Training Regimen. These are all decent. And then what was the sandy one? Tome of the Sandstalkers. So I didn't get to try them out on manual that much, but Summon Sand Scorpions, they look like a pretty solid unit. Scorpion Venom Blades were great. We used that. Desertification. This map was mostly sand, so I didn't need to use this, but you can make your people just thrive on sand, and this is a way to make more sand. Dune Stalkers gives your people buffs if they're on sand, and it makes them immune to Sandstorm, and then you can throw Sandstorm into battle, which for multiple turns will try to blind enemies, and your people are immune to it. So this is pretty cool. It also gives you the ability to build farms on desert if you didn't already have that. More stability on desert, Grand Bazaar buildings. There's a lot of bonuses over here. I actually didn't even see that. But, because I think I might have already had those from character creation, but yeah, they're quite good. Yeah, and this gives the Warforge and Warband. Yeah, Warband doesn't give anything there. So yeah, the new tomes are solid. I think the sand one is probably my favorite of the three. But there was definitely some cool new stuff that they added. And I might off-stream consider trying a replay with those that one group of people that does like no enchants at all, and just see how that feels. Because it seems interesting. It seems interesting. But yeah. I was like kinda sad that they didn't do a what is it called? They didn't do a story scenario for it. I like the story scenarios. That's just a personal thing. They added these two just premium challenge realms, and then that's it. Actually, is there any, if I scroll down, any RRs? No. Okay, so they just added two new realms. And then the new realm, the freaking backlash. That was kind of funny. Honestly, it was kind of funny. So it's like every time you cast a spell, there's a chance of a backlash and something random happens. And honestly, I think it was poorly named because backlash sounds like it's something bad, but sometimes it would be good. Like I would summon a unit for 3 turns and the backlash would be it's permanent, you know? Or like, you know, no mana cost. Like some of the backlashes were really nice, but occasionally it would be bad. The sand one allows you to stack 2 adaptations to 1 civ. You could go desert and underground, for example, like farm underground, then pop up and start spreading desert. The thing is, the desertification spell, it doesn't spread like Marching Winter. It's like you got to cast it for every tile, so you're gonna need a lot of mana if you're gonna keep doing that. But yeah, you could do something like that. Backlash is like D&D Wild Magic. Yes, I said the same thing when I first saw it.
Choose your destination.
I'm actually kind of curious if you did something like that. Hold
your
on.
journey starts here.
So if you did like underground, and then something like that, just picking stuff.
What is their origin culture?
Yeah, I think you could start something. Doesn't really matter what. And then yeah, you could go
society?
to you could start underground, then go to sand later. If you do that, hang on.
Choose your first tome of magic.
Oh, there's not a show tome library on this screen, I just realized. You'd have to make sure you have the affinity for the sand tome.
What is your ruler's
Also, I'm
origin?
wondering, if you do Giant King... If you're starting underground, maybe you could do Rock Giant King on top of it. Marching Winter Underground. Does that work? With the Giants, I really love the Stellas, where you can, like, spread a certain type of thing. Yeah, that last playthrough we did a human champion. I liked the ability to give units extra turns. Okay. Well. All right, cool. Well, I guess
Choose your
that wraps it
first
up.
tome of
That
magic.
is it for our
What
first
is your
time
people's
trying
form?
out the Nomads. You can do Dungeon Depths with Marching Winter as well. That's epic.
Choose
Nice.
your destination.
All right, so that is it for this one. That is going to end the Nomad playlist, and we're off to the next one.